Okay. Well, you on the way coming back, Lily would give me another reminder. Hurry up. Um, all right, Sylvia Browne.
Hmm.
She's been something of an enigma. Different person to a whole. She's a different person to a whole lot of different people. Um, a lot of people think if you see something, then you have to have got it from God, so it must be correct.
Right.
And she was one of those people.
Yes.
So she never doubted what she saw, but lots of times she was being shown, made to see uh, situations and images created for her, as well as message. That was lies. There was one point Sylvia was so popular that the original first being female was jealous. Too much attention.
Mm-hmm.
The original first being male and female were always jealous of each other. It's all disgusting, but you know how that happened.
Mm.
I'm not pointing blame, just describing so people can understand, because when you really do understand, and you'll help many people understand yourself talking with them, it was happenstance. It wasn't their fault that it happened that way. It was their fault it wouldn't stop. And
yes.
Because of that, they're gone now.
Refusing to stop.
Yeah. Mm. But it was more important for me to care for creation than it was to care for them, and they wouldn't stop attacking it. And that's the format they gave me. Of course, I changed my format,
mm-hmm.
But that was important for a true protector. And when you have all this compassion and power, you care for everything. And Lily and I both, everyone else matters. We don't matter. We are what we are. I mean, Lily matters to me like nothing else, and the same vice versa. But we don't want stuff for ourselves except for everyone having a good life and taken care of properly. Then we're a success. We exist in each other's love. I mean, just like so many other people, there's so many beautiful people. I've met souls that they think, oh, I should have been, I wish I was source. And I said, please don't say that. Not that you're going to be made source. That, that's not how it works. But at the same time, I want you to appreciate who you are and your own beauty. Source is the source of your problems, with the original first being, by happenstance, being created and abused itself. But it's such a beautiful thing to see his soul, his whole heart,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, her ability to see things for other people and everything else. Now, don't get me wrong, she can see a lot of stuff for herself. She's strong, but she was also controlled. So, and she had a bunch of angels hanging around her. Why? Because, like she'd always say, oh, you're so, lucky, so wonderful. You have 7 angels hanging on you. Well, that meant that's how many angels it took to make sure that you never did anything but what the original first being wanted you to.
I see.
That's why they used to both hang on me personally. And Lucifer never messed with me. He was the first protector. I was the second. It's like Archangel Michael. He's the only one of the archangels left.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a protector. We hang out together. Lucifer was created with more lower frequencies than normal, like about 20%, 20.5%. Because the original ones thought that would make them more powerful, which to begin, yes, but as time goes on, the lighter you are, you increase your power level increase percentage of growth increases. But do you understand what I'm trying to say?
He didn't grow as fast as you did, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had full sores, and I was made extra strong. So, but so anyway, she could see a lot of things for herself, and then, but it was controlled, and then later in years, she was fed lies, so she wouldn't be as popular. So, and plus everyone's to be abused in body anyway. Now, Sylvia, as her real self, spirit, she's really sweet, has a lot of white energy in her. It's human, but it's very light. She was 17% lower frequencies. But she had a lot of the white energy. It's hard to describe. It was thicker than normal, but it was there, and she has a lot of heart and plenty of pineal. Solar plexus, she wasn't, that was the weakest, one of her power points. Or everyone's 3 power points. Heart, pineal, and solar plexus. So, and she talked with her spirit guide, Aina. She called her Francine. She was a little girl, she was a baby, and she was talking with Aina all the time. She said, "What's your name?" And Aina said, "Aina." And then, Sylvia couldn't figure out how to say that. She was a little girl, so she called her Francine.
Sure, yeah.
Well, when I talk with Aina, and I haven't in a long time, I'm looking at her right now, and she's looked up at me, and I'm like, "There's nothing, just thinking of you." And she's a little sad at the moment. She's doing her own regression through past lives and stuff, and how things could have been so much better. Almost all the angels regret what they were put through, but it wasn't their fault. Some of them went nuts because of it. But anyway, I feel guilty because I didn't do anything to fix that. Anyway, so every time I talk to Aina, I use Aina. That's the name. That's what she wants to be known by. I'm not going to use Francine because Sylvia, Almighty Sylvia, said that. She got arrogant in this life. It's not her normal way. But when we're in a body, the bodies are pushed around. It changes the top part of our behavior. But she had so much quote-unquote faith in God. When she received something like that, she spoke it, and that got her in trouble. But what people that go after her and everything, well, number one, they're jealous because they can't see shit. Excuse the French. They can't see. Most of them are solar plexus, and solar plexus is like the singular strongest power of the 3 power focal points. Pineal, heart, and solar plexus. But it's the less feeling.
Yeah.
I'm talking pretty good, and Lily just said, "Use it while it lasts." I'm like, okay. And the way I've tried to explain that is the main flow of energy through your body. They used to call it a
Kundalini.
Kundalini. Thank you. The 2 snakes going up and down. Well, that's because on Earth, all the bodies used to have the spirit on the right side of the brain, and on the left side of the brain, part of the planet's energy, part of Gaia's energy. I changed all that stuff, I don't know when, 2015 or something. Anyway, it's in the books. So those books are so important if anyone wants to know anything, to get started. That first book, and that's the cheapest one, and that'll all change soon. They'll be very cheap. But not until I'm gone and Aaron's group starts printing them out. But in the meantime, even if you just got the first book, you could start to put the pegs, square pegs into square holes, round pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
Lily's pushing on me, you're not listening to me, you gotta hurry. I feel the brain, the energy in this body. Anyway, so she would be aware of a lot, and she had so much faith in God. It's like respect given without cause or reason. I don't know what misrepresent. I don't know. I don't know where. She had blind faith.
Yeah, blind faith. That's the word. Yeah.
And so she went with it, and for a while she built her up, and then especially getting near the end, that was all taken away. And I forget when she left, but everything had changed because February 23rd, 2013, I finished taking out the original ones. Everything changed. People used to come up to me, Jay, I had a life path and it's gone. I had a contract. They used different words for it.
Hmm.
And I said, yeah, your future's just changed. What is it now? And I said, well, it's kind of open, but, take advantage of that. Do what you want to do. Anyway, Sylvia also talked about, and she used to hang around in the field just sucking up knowledge on the other side. She loves knowledge. She's like you. She wants to accumulate all the data that she can.
Just to add in the detail, I think it's May 23rd. You said February.
Did I say February?
I think you did. Yeah.
Wow. No, it's May 23rd.
Yeah.
About 2:30 p.m. or something.
Mm-hmm.
2:30, 4:30, I don't know, 2:30, whatever. Thank you for doing that. This is happening too quick. What's the last thing I was saying?
Her solar plexus, Sylvia's solar plexus. So.
Yeah. So anyway, she was, just following the red road she was put on with blinders on, and she was happy doing that. Angels around her kept hitting energy at her. For her spine went into the pelvic bone to power up the endorphins to keep her happy whenever she was having a hard time.
I'm not sure if you mentioned solar plexus, but she likes data. That was the key thing. She likes data like I do. That was what you were saying. She likes data. She likes data. You were saying that Sylvia likes data like I like data. So getting as much data as possible. Data, information.
Oh, data.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's like I was just saying that, I gotta hurry, like Lily was warning me. That's one reason we're talking, because you already have, 90% of this information. We're over. So, she talks about the mystical traveler. It's one of the things she talked about. And then she also talked about the silver warriors. Well, the mystical travelers and she was the original first being female, was the one who made things happen everywhere, like 9/11 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The male's energy would be involved, but it was the female that actually made those things happen. And the main reason why, is because the male half of the original first being was putting out its energy everywhere to be the field.
Mm.
And the more they released from themselves, the smaller they were. Now they grow back, but it took away some of their power. Anyway, the original ones, though, they were never able to destroy energy. So They were never any kind of threat to me. The only threat to me was time, trying to hurry up and get strong enough while Aramelius was taking my energy and body. But anyway, moving away from that. The Silver Warriors, what they were, they're usually female. Not always, but usually female. And they would offer themselves to the original first being female and say, we offer our service to you as spirit. They do this out of body. They can do it in body, but they're pushed to reconfirm it when you get out. And the Silver Warrior, you see a being with a lot of silver on them, and it comes from the original first being female. All silver, all gold frequencies come from source. And so they'd imbue the person with silver. And silver is fast, speed, it's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And the image I would get when I look at them, it's almost like it's female, but the head's almost like a skull, and they have black and silver for their energy, and they have like one of those axes that also it's like when they behead someone, but it's not long. It's more like an axe, like a really big axe. And their job was, when somebody was in a body and they were really screwing up, they would go to the body when it's sleeping, and literally remove the spirit inside the body, but leaving the silver cord attached, the silver energy conduit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they bring the spirit, hold on to it and bring it right up to the original first being female. And the original first being female would 99.99% of the time be yelling at them, you're not doing the way you're supposed to, blah, 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 blah. And that's why when I see the people, I can see their energy inside, always smiles. They always look at me like, what? And I said, you don't get a whole lot of sleep, do you? You can be in bed, it's quiet, you get to sleep early, and you wake up still tired. She goes, yeah. And I said, that's because your spirit is busy at night. And I said, that's also why you have silver hair ahead of your time. Mm-hmm. And she'll say, yeah, I did start turning silver earlier.
Huh.
I'd explain why. Now, and after I got rid of the original first beings, being halves, they lost their job.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would say, but they start the conversation with, I've lost my purpose. And I said, no, you've gained your freedom.
Mm. So are they mostly good now in body? These
they're all good. It's just they were doing what they were told. They never killed anything. They didn't have the ability. But they were just used, like the police, to go take you out of your house and bring you down to the precinct.
Okay.
Talk to the judge,
Yeah.
And then the mystical travelers, they were ones, this is kind of important, they were the ones that offered their services to the original first being halves to go anywhere, do anything at any time for them.
Mm.
They were like, not the Secret Service, but really devoted, almost like special ops, but not to kill, just to do whatever work, while being missionaries too, I guess. Now, one person, we've talked about the Antichrist, the four of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was Hitler, there was Napoleon, Manson was one, and then there's the fourth one that's still alive and not causing any trouble out in, believe it or not, out in the Arab area. I met him years ago. I went to go see him, and he kind of freaked out. And I just did this. And he knows me. If he doesn't do anything bad, I'll protect him. Like everything else, that's my job.
Sure.
if he acts up, then he knows what happens. So this whole war and everything going on, he stayed away from it. Anyway, and I thought about Stalin, or Stalin, whatever, about all the people he's killed and everything. And then I looked at him, and I saw that he was the mystical traveler. They always have a little bit of a gold look to him because the original female put a little gold energy on him to help him to be stronger. But he had been abused. He had been following orders and doing the most horrific things, and it literally has been eating at his soul to where, he wasn't aware of much of anything of himself this past life.
No.
His last past life, and all the people he killed. And so when I saw him on the other side, I saw how sick he was. He was almost nothing but abuse frequencies. He was like almost dead. So I grabbed him and cleaned him, and he's healing.
What's his percentage?
17.
Yeah.
But I put more source in him after I healed him. I put some gold energy in him, more my gold energy in him, plus more heart, and he's rested. And it's like right now he's like, I'm okay now, thank you. And
good.
He's not happy about his last life.
Sure.
I mean, you can't blame him. But that's the power that stuff can have over us when we're in a body, especially when you make the commitment to say, I allow you to do anything. I freely offer this. Okay, so they would ask Sylvia, is this girl still alive? Can we find her and everything? And she'd be looking, you can see her look, and she's having a hard time. She's trying to see for herself, and then she's told by the original one, or the angels, hanging around, oh yeah. And then, probably this and then that, And when the original female either gave her the information personally or usually had her angels do it, primary archangel on her, who's now gone, she would, she'd hesitate and then finally say it, and then the original first being female, look at her face was anger towards Sylvia.
Oh.
Because she was strong, and, you couldn't have that. It's all about her. Even her male half, the male half of the original first being. No, it's about her, not him. Sickness. So that's the main part of what I wanted to say about them. About her, about Sylvia. There's other things like all the keys and this. It's all BS. It's all garbage given to her. She was the beginning of the teach the planet, praise Mother, Father, God instead of just praise God. And so then I came out. I was supposed to the original first beings and. 2012, they said, you're going to go ahead and, sing that song. You're going to do amazing things. And I'm like, I'm not singing that. And I handled it with baby gloves. I said, look, y'all are really important. I mean, we all come from you, but no, I got to care for the body and the spirit inside. They're part of creation, and you're formed that. You told me to take care of them. And the female said at first, and the male was backing her up, saying, no, they don't matter. They're just, callus coming off her skin. It's so sad, but when you know why, you can understand.
Yeah.
And there's no room in a heart for hatred. It just makes it heavy and sad, and our hearts weep enough for all the abuse and stuff going on. Okay. Lily literally said, just bring it to a close now. So anyway, she's a good person, but she was controlled.
Yeah.
She was abused. And especially near the end. So, it's all sad. Like, you go to so many churches and you feel so much love. But most of the people going there are really, really wonderful, loving people. That's why so many churches do so many good things to help people. Even though they're hitting them with a book full of rocks, while they're doing it, they're at least helping them.
Yes.
And they don't know better. It's not their fault. All right, big guy, I'll see. I'll see you in a bit.
That's really good. So both of those will go on Walker's channel now.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of him in just a minute.
Okay.
Clarify or whatever the word is. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
But tell him to though.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
I hope you feel better. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, buddy.